Okay, so I am gonna try to be productive today. It's sunny and I have to get out of the house. I can't do it. It's been a week, okay? I'm tired. I can't stay trapped in the house all gloomy anymore. It's sunny, so I'm out. And this is me today being productive. So, I don't know whether it's apparent or not, but I feel like I am a type of person that can't I can't rest. I haven't been dating, I haven't been hanging out, I haven't been doing anything because I feel unfulfilled. And so it was just a lot of people around me that had ideas for what I should do and what should be fulfilling for me. And so it was horrible. I don't know why in Black culture, every time you need space, every time you need a little bit of time to yourself to think on your own, that it has to be an argument. So there was a big, huge blow up in my life. And so all of it was for me just needing space, just needing time, to think about what I want to do. Because I have to live out the consequences of whatever it is that I choose to do with my time. My kids are grown, they have lives, they, got other stuff they want to do, but they're not, my passion is working with kids, and so they're not the youngest people on the planet anymore. So they're older, they made it, they are survivors, they are having fun with their friends and their activities and everything. So I still feel like I have something to offer to kids that are younger than them. I'm not requiring them to be mentors or anything. I'm not one of those parents that is going to make them do community service, even though I think it would be a good idea, but I got outvoted. So while they're enjoying and living life, I still want to do something that is able to help people. My goal is to help people that were in my predicament when I was younger. So I've talked about where I didn't grow up in the most affluent of neighborhoods, right? I survived. And it wasn't that bad. I'm gonna just say it's not ideal. I'm not saying it's fun. I'm not saying it's a goal. And I did, when I got the opportunity to move my kids out so that they didn't have to put up with that, but I did talk to them about what was actually there, so that they know A, who their mom is, and B, how to view people that might have come from that same predicament. I'm not saying you have to, give them everything. The only thing that you're giving them is an opportunity. So I said all of that to say is that the thing I came up with to do during this time is I'm gonna write so that I can help kids that were me. All the things that nobody told me, the things that I had to figure out, and by some stroke of divine intervention, either I got the answer right pretty quickly, either on the first try or close to it, or either somebody showed up and told me, and something in me was willing to listen to and use that information. So I feel like I should pay it forward, that I should give back and do the same for kids in that predicament as well. So I'm writing a book, and what it's going to be about is basically what really happens in low income areas. There's a lot of lies that go on, and in some small percentages, yes, there are some bad things that happen, but I'm sorry, I never walked past a dead body on my way to school or anything crazy like that. That just is something that they tell you in movies. The problem with people making movies trying to illuminate things that they might have gone through is this one person's experience. For instance, Stephen King, right? The depths of the I don't even know, the morbidity of this dude's brain. Like, that had to come from somewhere. Either he saw it and it's in his imagination or whatever. The point is, it makes for good entertainment. There are people that take that to heart, though, and yes, I know those people should understand that it's just a movie, but apparently we can't count on people to realize that. So with that being said, this is going to be just one person's experience. I'm not discounting anybody else's experience. If you did have to see all of that kind of stuff in childhood, that's fine. But what people, and I'm glad that I would support you, and I want you to tell your story. But what people need to understand is that's not the only experience. That's not the only thing that was seen in these areas. And I can't write on being a suburban kid because I'm not a suburban kid. Sorry. I do think that it's important because it can help people to get the right opportunities there so that you know exactly how to help. I know a lot of people come over and they want to help. They have a helping spirit, but the things that they do are counterproductive and make things worse. You don't appreciate the pushback. That's what I'm getting, is that a lot of people, when they come back, they have this feeling of, well, I know what's, I know better than you. I know what's in your best interest. Why do you think you could tell any person that you know what's best for them and they don't? You can try to convince them that a specific decision might be better, but you cannot tell them that overall they need to just listen to you and follow you. I don't know why people have this. I know it exists, but what I don't get is the why. Why do people have this need to have so many followers? What does that do for you? Do you feel like a god, or do you feel like royalty? Well, you should feel that way anyway, with or without followers. The point is, what are you trying to do with that information? Because if I secretly feel like I'm a queen, I'm royalty, I'm a goddess, right? Unless I'm trying to control people, what difference does it make if anybody else disagrees with me? And that's what I see as the pushback is, appreciation. I think we don't understand what appreciation means. Appreciation is an emotion. It's a state of being. I am happy that this thing happened. It doesn't mean that I owe you my soul or my life. It doesn't mean that I have to speak your praises every time my mouth opens. You are appreciated a lot of times, but if you don't know what the word actually means or how to recognize when you're being appreciated, you ask for more things than you are due. And then you get the argument, and a lot of people can't explain, but it's a visceral reaction. It's a feeling that we get that says that, no, I'm not giving you, I know you've gotten enough, I'm good, and you could just take back whatever the gift is that you gave me. Hello. Yes, can I have a large coffee?
A large coffee?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need cream or sugar?
Yes, 3 creams and 5 equals.
Okay.
And a small cup of ice.
A cup of ice?
Yeah, a small cup of ice.
Alright.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, it's gonna be $2.50.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so this is my morning. I'm, getting up.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, thank you.
What?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And do you need the receipt?
No.
No, have it then.
Okay, you too. Okay, hold on 1 second. Just let me get my coffee. Oh.
How are you?
Yes, how are you?
Good, good. Coffee prints, okay?
Oh, okay. All right, so I'll just pull over here then?
No carries.
No, okay, all right. Man, I don't want to sit here at the window. This just looks weird. But okay. Anyway, so appreciation. It doesn't mean that I'm now your, subject. Okay? It means thank you. The end. If you do it for more than that, you need to have that warm, fuzzy feeling within yourself and not coming from me. If you don't feel that, then that means don't do it. And I don't want it. I'm over it. So, the video I'm making today is just about living the consequences. You can't make the world accept something just because you like it. I think a lot of the beef and the pushback comes from the fact that we, as humans, we can feel it and we know it when we're on one side of it, but when we're the person that's trying to give something out or to get something accepted, we forget that big component. The people you meet have experiences, and they have lives, and they have triggers and emotions that existed way before you. If you are okay with a certain thing, it doesn't mean that just because you're ready to accept it, that the rest of the world is automatically just going to jump to it. And I think that's kind of the reason why people want to have followers so much. The expectation is that your followers, your audience is going to just jump when you jump. Thank you. Can I have a big straw? Not the coffee one. Can I have a big straw?
A big one?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. See, I knew he was going to do that, break my stream of consciousness. Anyway, but then you get mad when your audience turns on you. Well, they were supposed to. They're supposed to turn on you because people aren't clones, and if you're stagnant, people get complacent and lazy. You have a platform, you get to a place where people love what you do, they know they expect it, they look forward to it, they support it, but things change. You should always still, like, a key to success, in my opinion, I don't know, it's probably written somewhere, I just haven't read it. I mean, you know, I used to read a lot, I haven't anymore since I decided I was going to write. One of the keys to success is always knowing what's going to happen next. So if you have your platform, you can get complacent not once you reach success, but once you also know what is going to be the trigger for you to start thinking more, for you to go back to thinking again, for you to go back to working again. That's how a lot of people lose their successes, because they get caught by somebody else who was paying attention once they stopped paying attention. Another thing that I sometimes tell kids, I don't know if this is great advice or anything, but it worked for me and it worked for the people that I told. If you see someone that's successful, it's okay for you to do it as well, because they aren't going to, if it catches on, they aren't going to be able to service everyone, and then they might get tired and they might retire, and now they're going to need someone who knows whatever the field or the thing is to take their place so that they can rest, right? They came up with it. It's why we like being first. But also, if they're getting way too lax, you pay attention and figure out what's going to be the trigger to change, and you have that prepared, so that once you see that first glimmer of, hey, listen, this is getting stale, you are already right there and ready to go with the next big thing. See, things like that I don't think would be a waste of time. As black people, one thing I've noticed, we have a tendency to tell people that if it's not automatically making you money right then, the very second that you do it, that it's not worth the effort. It's not worth the sacrifice, the time, the money. We're very frugal with our money when it comes to things that could possibly make us even more money. We're all about the here, the right now, and that has not worked out very well for us. I think that it's not a bad thing for us to look I'm not saying like completely into the future, like we Nostradamus or anything. I'm not talking about millennia in advance. I mean, like, the next 2 to 3 years. We have to just accept the fact that this is the world that is being created right now. We are not the dominant culture. There is a dominant culture, and they set the rules, and this is how they got it done. And it obviously worked, because everybody has to come to them for something. The savagery that they did to support it would be in vain if they didn't have a viable, sustainable, and I've been saying that word lately a lot. I've been saying sustainable a whole lot. If all of the killing and the murder to get on top would be not worth it if it wasn't something that once they got up there that we could all do. And people just went ahead and did it. So, there could have been a time where if you don't like them being in charge, you could have just not did it. We do that to one another all of the time. You know somebody that has come up with a good idea and you just didn't participate, and you hated on it just because you didn't like that person or because you were mad that you didn't do it. But why we can't keep that same energy to anybody else? And I'm not advocating a race war. I'm not telling you how to go out and just like start smacking white people or nothing. What I'm saying is, these things work for a reason. There was, a lot of talk about religion lately, right? And so, I no longer subscribe to a specific religion. What I do, I don't know if there's a name for it or not, but I just kind of follow with what I feel spiritually is appropriate. I don't want to hurt others or hurt myself. I follow what I think is helpful to nature up to a point, because I don't do, bugs. We're not even going to pretend that that's going to be okay. So mosquitoes, I no. Flies, bees, none of it. Nope. They all nature but that. They got their own people. They already got people that's taking care of that, okay? I'm not part of that. But I'm not going over there messing with them, so they need to leave me alone. But it's another video. I think about if there is a higher power, right? Everybody makes fun of you. They say, like this imaginary being in the sky or whatever. I don't know, okay? Because I'm humble enough to know that I can't possibly know every single thing. I know the things that I know. And I will know the things that I'm willing to learn. I don't know what I don't know. But if I find out what I don't know, I'm willing to try. And that's the best I got. So I don't know if there is an overall being. But what I do know is that something set all of this in motion. And it works well together like cogs. So why mess with it unless you have to? So I follow what seems reasonable, what seems like it's natural, and what I notice that's already happening without my interference. If I I'm not a camping person, but when you go camping, you see this whole ecosystem of things that work well without you there. It's like you don't even exist. So when you see things like that in other areas, like all over in life, why mess with it? You can insert yourself, but that is you wanting attention, and you need to accept that, and that there's going to be a cost for that. You have to pay for that. Now, can you afford it? Are you willing to? Okay, let me get back on subject. In terms of success, we don't get to judge what the world chooses to say, yes, this is a good thing. There's a lot of stuff that happens in daily life right now that I don't agree with, but I'm only one person. No matter what it is that I want, that I think should be a good thing, I don't get to say, oh, well, y'all are horrible, the world is going to crap because y'all don't believe the same thing that I believe, you don't want the same thing that I want, because people have their reasons. Whatever the standard of beauty is, I can't just, because I think one thing, like I find beauty in a lot of stuff, and a lot of the things that I think are gorgeous and beautiful, and it warms my heart. A lot of people will say that's tacky, that's ugly, stop telling those people that they're cute or the way they are, they need to work, they need to change, and for why? To get what? Because it's an action, it's work, you're expelling energy. Why does anybody, do you show up to your job and you get paid in smiles and waves? No, all right then, well, why do you expect anybody to work? So, if it's I don't know, I guess it's no secret by now that, these conversations about weight, colorism, interactions with other races, I have some opinions on it. In terms of weight, I really feel like women who are larger should stop answering y'all about their weight. Whatever the conversation is that you're having with this person, if the weight is not part of it, it's not a good thing for us as a people to say, oh, well, you could be trying to teach me math, but because you're fat, I don't want to listen. That's not, okay, so who suffers in that? And anyway, what does that have to do with anything? Because you can count no matter what size you are. It's a lot of people that do things and their weight is not part of it, but they can't be the forefront, they can't be the face of it, because people are drawn to things that they're attracted to. That's the name, that's the reason for the word attraction, right? So this is a little park that I like to go to. It's just this is one of many. It's like 1,700 parks near me, and this is one of the things that I like about Houston. There's bayous, there's trails and everything, and this is late September. Haha, up north, y'all starting to get snow, huh? Nope, we don't have that. Anyway, so the point is, I think they should stop answering y'all about their weight. I wouldn't. I've had my thicker years. I've had years where I'm thicker, where I'm, I've had years where I'm smaller. I never know what, like, each year I never know what size or shape I'm going to be that year. So, this year, this is what I get to have. But who knows what 2020 is going to be. Anyway, the point is, it doesn't have to be the conversation of everything. And are you really telling them, like, the articles that are being written by women who are larger, you're telling them that because they're larger, they don't get to live, essentially? That's crazy. You do know that. Y'all know that that's crazy, right? Who made y'all, who told you you could decide? Anyway, my view on it, I don't have a problem with women of any shape or size. I've had friends of all shapes and sizes, and we never had any problems. Why? I'm glad you asked. The reason is because at some point you look past their weight and see who they actually are as a person. Because their weight can fluctuate. Maybe that's the reason why my weight fluctuates, is so that I can be the person to say that it doesn't matter. Because I get treated differently in each of those 3 states. Because this is the middle. This is the middle ground. I have had years where I'm bigger. I've had years where I'm smaller. But I'm the same person throughout. But you know how I survive that? Because I will not answer y'all about my weight. Unless, any state that I'm in, I will tell you what my weight is. Because I don't care. I mean, whatever. And I'm tall. So I'm 5'10". So the number doesn't really match up to what y'all get. Or what you think you're getting. I'm the same person, but how I survive is that I find different groups of people to be around. There are groups of people where I'm much more appreciated and more valuable when I'm thicker. But what I'm saying is the same. So I have a lot of groups of people in my life. Yeah, see, this would be nice, a day to ride bikes, but yeah, no, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. If I could watch people ride bikes and burning calories as we speak. It's true. Look it up. I have lots of different groups of people in my life, and I like that about me. Sometimes it gets people saying, oh, well, you're fake, or either I think you could be fake. Well, everybody has the potential for everything. The point is, I'm not, because that is less fun than what I wanted to do. And when I'm talking to somebody that you don't like, I'm not bringing you up, because why am I going to leave whatever I was doing to hang out, to have fun, to talk about somebody that's not there? If you wanted to be in the subject, you should have came. Should have been there. And 2, I don't want to talk to people where that's the only thing that I have in common with them is somebody that I don't like. That's a job. That's me spying. That's me going over there to gather information and come back. That's work. That's not fun. So if I'm hanging out with you, whether you don't like somebody else in my life or not, that's not what we're talking about. Because otherwise, I'm not coming to hang out with you. I'm here. That person is not. Now, we can talk about it. We can discuss what y'all's beef is. I will provide whatever insight that I have, fair and balanced. But I'm not, look, I only have 2 kids. These people are grown. And I'm grown and I get to enjoy my day. So if I'm hanging out with you, it's whatever the activity is that we're doing is something fun that I want to do. We are not, and as hard as it is for me to get outside of the house and have a babysitter sometimes, what we are not going to do is use up that time talking about somebody else's life. What about me? Yes, selfish, whatever. The point is, I'm too selfish to be fake. If y'all want to call it that. What about me? What about what I want to talk about? What about what I want to do? And in the same, and you should know that goes for the other person as well. I've had, and to be honest with you, a lot of my friends are, bigger than me. My best friend, the one that I miss dearly, she was a larger chick. And, now make no mistake, 18 years of back and forth BS, everything that I said, she had to bring up my weight. But what I liked about her is when she dished it, she could take it. And I gave it back. And I said any and everything just like she did. And it even got to the point where it was beyond words. It was just acting out things, and you just had to know that now she's trying to call me skinny with a big head self. But anyway, I knew I forgot something. Charger. All right. Yes, that's what we're doing. Anyway, so the point is, I have a lot of friends that are bigger than me, and we don't have these issues because, I mean, if they say something like that, and I'm not going to expect them to be in a whole friendship and never mention the fact that I'm skinny. Like the Austin Powers movie where he just couldn't stop mentioning the dude's mole. I'm not gonna put them in that predicament. Just okay, but understand that I'm also not mentioning your weight. But with me, it's all love. I'm not telling them that we can't hang out because they're bigger than me. This also goes for women who are smaller than me too, but it's the less talked about thing. I don't know why y'all think that that's so acceptable either. That's not acceptable either. I just had to put that out there as someone who has been on all of these sides. Even when I was on my big years now, the difference is I tried a little bit of the dieting, but I lost interest because I started having more fun in life, and I just was hanging out with people that was, like, okay, this is nice, this is what it is. And then I forgot about losing weight and had way too much fun. So I got sidetracked. Now, in terms of health, I don't know how many people know this, but I don't have like the greatest health overall anyway. It has nothing to do with my weight. It was at birth. So, I can't speak to that part. But what I can say is that if you make that the person's identity, their weight, like they don't even have a name. They go to meetings and they get the little hello, my name is name tag. They don't put letters on it. They just put their weight. Like if you do that to people, that's all they're going to talk about. That's all they're going to have to say. And then when it's time to be serious and do anything else, they can't. They weren't allowed to think about anything else. They weren't allowed to be anything else. And that's when you guys want to call them bitter because they're angry because they don't have anything to add to this conversation because you forced them into a box. Let them be a person, and then they can care about what that person looks like. Then they can care about what that person has to go through health. You guys are bringing up the woman's health, and she doesn't care about her health anymore because she is a scale number. What health? You can't make them accept that argument or respond to it, and if you take that argument away. If she's not a person because of her weight, right? Then you can't get mad and say that she doesn't even care about her health. Because there is no health. You said that she was a number. You did that. So I get a lot of flack. Like, men get mad at me, they yell at me. But what I'm saying to you is, as a woman, I can tell you what the actual issue is. I can tell you why it's not working. A lot of y'all, I think, are not interested in, resolutions. You like having something to argue about because when you go out there and get your face cracked by everything else in the world other than a woman's weight, when you come home, you don't want to look like a whiny loser saying, oh no, I couldn't make the white people respect me. I couldn't make the world give me more money. I couldn't make women like me. So you can't say that. So what you say is, no, it's her. She's fat and that angers me. Do you know that sounds even crazier? I would much rather want to hear you say the other stuff because I already know logically that that's what the issue is. Y'all bring a lot of stuff home. Why? So I don't buy your argument. I don't believe you. You need more people. And you need smarter people. Let's not say more because just, the number doesn't matter. You need smarter people. So that's my view on the weight thing. The second one, colorism. I mean, it exists, but yet again, my personality is I don't care. If I had to define a standard of beauty, it would be me. The thing that is in the middle. Like all other shades of black women are on a spectrum, and they're either darker than me or they're lighter than me. I'm in the middle. This is what black looks like. Right? Yeah. This is black right here. This is golden. Sun. kissed. You know, I like that. It's sparkly. It took me a long time to get used to and to love my skin color. I was born in a house to where the oldest person was yellow. The oldest daughter was yellow. It was a lot. And I did. Like, my first views of interacting with people were how people treated her. And somehow, like me being the little sister or whatever, people still were like, oh, she's so cute. Because my hair used to be blonde. Which, by the way, black men, do not come on my page if you're going to say that black women look horrible with blonde hair. Because as a person that used to have blonde hair until I got older, we do have blonde hair. We have blonde hair. They don't. They have yellow absence color. Okay? Ours is blonde, golden. It's us. It's ours. It's brown. It's part of the spectrum of brown. It matches up with our color palette, not theirs. It's the for them, it's the absence. For us, it's an actual color. Okay? And even now, like on my arms or whatever, like it's blonde. And I'm not the only person. That is in fact black women. Thank you very much. Anyway, so I guess that is something that made them say, oh, okay, well, yeah, she can still be considered cute. That, and I was kind of mouthy and noticed everything, and I sang and I danced. Yeah, you know, a lot of stuff. I was all over the place my whole life. Anyway, so that was my experience. I did see the difference. But somehow I've been able to escape that. I haven't had a whole lot of men that are, you know, I've had men that talk to me about their love for yellow women, but then they still stay there and they're with me, and, you know, I don't notice a difference outside of that conversation. Why? Maybe it doesn't exist. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Men are saying it doesn't exist. But what I am saying is that the behaviors do happen. I have a theory, of course. What I believe is that it's bragging rights because it was something that was previously held away from black men. But to be honest with you, it is in fact, like, there are a lot of people who don't like light-skinned black people because what we were told by our parents is that it's shameful because it's an indicative of us being violated as a culture. It's a reminder. It's how it happened. What I'm saying is that now that we have science, we know that that's not the only way it happened, because it could have happened anyway, just off of sheer chance. Now, the thing that happened that amplified it was people selectively choosing that. It was rare. It's why we treat things like, you know, and I know this is not the most rarest element, but it's the rarest one with the trade-off balance that we're willing to pay for and have available. Diamonds. Because everybody can't have one. There's only, you know, we haven't found, there might be some more in the earth, because I mean, you know, we have not finished discovering everything. Y'all do know that, right? So there's some more somewhere. We just haven't gotten to them. I'm gonna just pull over and finish this, and then I'll go get my charger. It was rare. So it was something to say, hey, look, I got these. Kind of like Jordans. Listen, I didn't come up with that. That's men, all right? But I still love y'all. I have a lot of friends that are lighter skinned. Why? I don't know. But, like, my life is surrounded with all, like, women who are, you know, in these other groups for whatever reason. I don't know how that happened, and I'm not mad about it. I like it, actually. But I wouldn't just choose that specifically because I'm open to whichever way it goes. The point is, that's how they treat you. It's not how I feel. It's why men do and say the things that they do when they're with women of lighter skin. It's not a compliment. It's something that I don't think should happen. I think that, yet again, like the previous argument I made, you are reducing this woman to a skin color. In this case, it's not only something that she didn't choose, it's something that she cannot change. So why should she? You know the arguments that I hear out of lighter skin men who date lighter skinned women, that they're shallow, they're stupid, they're cutthroat. Well, a lot of men, when they date light skinned women, they don't require you to think because they want you to just sit there, because if you start thinking, you might go with another dude. Also, you're not required to be smart. You're not required to know anything. Oh, it's okay. Just sit there and be yellow. God blessed you with this. It means you don't have to do anything. And then you get mad when she can't help with other stuff. Well, yes, if you don't want to pay for it, she does. She does have other options, because there are other men out there who did spend their time while you were dating her getting the money, and now they have the money and you don't. That is life. Because why? Because y'all all participate in that. I imagine for lighter skinned women that's irritating. I imagine that y'all don't want to go through that. That's a lot. That's annoying. And then you get told that you like drama, that you cause drama. You do cause drama because of your skin color, because you just happen to be born with something that men are, fighting over. It's not your fault. And do you like it? Probably not. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through. I hear that they are, cutthroat. Well, you don't like a lot. So many men stop them from being able to pursue their own interests, because they need to make sure that you're going to stay there so that they don't feel stupid for pouring their time and attention into you. See that survival instinct that y'all, don't want women to have? First of all, I'm sick of y'all saying that me trying to survive is masculine. Am I supposed to? Am I supposed to want to survive? Because if that's the case, then you need to stop with the health argument about women who are thicker. See, this stuff that y'all say doesn't make any sense, and it's irritating. They just won't tell you, but I will. Why would she stay there if you told her you don't have to know how to think? Okay, so while you're busy and you're trying to figure out a way out of that, she's not thinking, which means another man is going to come over and they're going to do the thinking for her. And why would they choose you over them? This is the dynamic that y'all set up with between one another. How do you get men to stop it? Oh, so why do larger women say, well, as long as y'all are sleeping with me, I don't have to change? That doesn't mean that that's the trophy for her. It doesn't mean that that's all she wants out of life, and all of that thing that y'all say about them having low self-esteem and why is that good enough and that they're stupid. No, they're not stupid. That you're missing the point of what they're saying. They're not saying that that's all they require. What they're saying is, it's what you value. You value sex, and so therefore, if you're still giving it to them, you can't say that they aren't working for you, because you're not requiring them to do anything to do it. Yes, they would like a relationship with love and happiness and a family and everything. But if you're in their face all of the time, talking about, in no way do I believe that they just handing y'all over stuff just for saying hi because they so attention starved, because there's so many other things that they could be doing in life. And every day that I walk outside of my house and I see a larger woman who's smiling and there's not a dude directly in front of her worshiping her, it means that there are other things that they like on this planet. To just stop it. So they're saying that if life, that we've all been told as women, we're supposed to have one of you guys that wants to touch us, right? Well, they already got it. Why should they do anything else? They go to work, they raise their kids, they have their own lives, they do other stuff, they have friends, they have fun. But in terms of men, they're already getting what you're supposed to hold from them. So how do you convince men to stop being so, led by their crotch region? How do you expect? I'm not saying that y'all have to be just perfect or whatever, but what I am saying is when it's easily forgivable, then why would anybody put any? I feel like y'all could resist a lot more than you do, but you don't. Because one, not only are you not required to resist, it's not something that you have to say, oh yes, I'm trying, but I just didn't quite make it. That's not the viewpoint that y'all have. That's one. But the second one, is that you literally judge each other by how many women you fall into. And yes, y'all still count if the men are sleeping with thicker women. Y'all just give it less value, which is messed